What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be checking out how to clean and maintain your Roborock or Xiaomi robot vacuum. It's important so that way you get optimal cleaning performance and also prolongs the longevity of your actual device, such as the motors, the actual components of the vacuum. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If not, you might run into faulty parts later on. You're not going to have optimal cleaning performance. You're going to need a few things first, one being a screwdriver, Phillips head or flathead. You're going to actually need both for this. Next is the little cutter brush that came with your robot vacuum. That has the brush and then has a little hook with a blade to cut any hair. A replacement filter, possibly. In your case, you may need it, you may not. And then you're going to need a damp paper towel or towel, and then a dry one as well to wipe any dust, any other grime that might be on your vacuum itself. So let's get right into it. First, what you're going to need to do is go ahead and actually just empty out your dust bin. Something I found, I have 2 cats, a dog, and then 2 adults living in the apartment that we're in, that I'm having to actually empty this out much sooner than the app is actually telling you. Don't go by what the app says in terms of the health, quote unquote, of any of these components, like the brush, this bin, or the filter. I'm having to empty this out pretty much twice a week, I would say, before it gets kind of pretty full. And that kind of goes along with the same as the main brush and the side brush as well. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is go ahead and dump this out, push on the 2 arrows to open the flap, dump it out, shake it, bang it on the side of your garbage bin, and that way any dirt and hair that's inside gets fully emptied into your garbage can. Next is you're going to want to actually replace or wash the filter. Actually, it's in the back. These are Hepa filters and they are washable, which is great, but over time, after a lot of use, you're going to want to go ahead and replace that. But thankfully in Roborock vacuums and Xiaomi vacuums, they include a second one, so you can just swap it out. What I do every couple weeks, I change these in terms of I just rinse one out and put the other one in, and then repeat every couple weeks, putting the one that was washed out, I let it dry, and then I swap them and wash the other one, and so on and so forth. It's been doing me quite well. I haven't had any issues in terms of the filter getting too clogged or anything like that, or getting ripped. So these last quite a while. When you're washing the filter, you are going to want to just use warm water and a slow pressure, and you're going to want to actually run the water opposite of where the dirt is initially. So that way water is running down, pushing the dirt out of the filter, whereas if you do it the opposite way, you're pushing dirt into the filter. You can rinse it on the backside, and then once more water and kind of is passing through the filter, then you can go ahead and rinse water on the opposite side to get any leftover dirt and particles out as well. Next, what you're going to want to do is actually go ahead and flip the vacuum upside down, and we can get to other important parts of the vacuum. So you have the actual side brush, you have the main brush, and then you have your front kind of guiding, rotating wheel. This rotating wheel can be easily taken out just by pulling up, and then now you have the whole housing and the actual articulating aspect that allows the Roborock to kind of stay sturdy while turning. What you're going to want to do is actually use your flathead screwdriver and place it underside of the wheel, and then just pretty much turn your screwdriver and lift the wheel up and out. What this results in is you having access to the wheel itself, and then all the hair that is accumulated on both sides of the axle of where the wheel is spinning on. Here's another little tip that you can actually do to thoroughly clean the little guide wheel, is that there is a small little disc inside. Basically, it locks the wheel in place on this axle. You can actually use a flathead screwdriver and work your way around the actual disc to remove it. Work your way up. Don't bend it. Just do it nice and slow, working your way around the actual locking disc. I found that after I did this for the first time, it allowed the wheel to spin very freely compared to before it was quite stiff. So by actually taking this off, you'll have access to remove the actual wheel from the axle and clean inside of it. So now you can actually slide this whole axle off from the wheel itself. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and take your damp towel, washcloth, whatever it might be, and go ahead and wipe down this wheel hub and remove any sort of dirt. That way it is nice and free of dust or any hair that might be accumulated as well. Then go ahead and reinsert your wheel back into the hub, and then while you're at it, you can also wipe down the interior part of that wheel well, essentially, and then put the wheel back into place. Next is you're going to be taking your Phillips head screwdriver, and we're going to be unscrewing the side brush because there is going to be hair accumulated. That's the purpose of it, from the walls and things like that. As you can see, there is definitely hair tangled up and wrapped around this brush. So you're going to want to just go ahead and remove that hair from the brush. You are going to also want to replace these as well, as the rubber and the actual bristles deteriorate in terms of stiffness. So replace those every once in a while. But I haven't had to actually replace these since owning it. It's been doing just fine. I might upgrade them to brand new ones at a later time, but who knows. There's really no point of wiping this part down, just because there isn't really, it's not going to be really beneficial. But just since while we're at it, since we have access to it, you can easily do that quite easily. Put it back into place, align it to the hexagonal hub, and then screw it back into place. Make sure it's nice and snug there. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do on one side, this piece can actually be pulled off to help clean out any hair that's underneath here. And I believe on newer models, this whole hub can be pulled off, but I don't think this one can. And then you're going to want to actually take your cutter. You can use any sort of razor blade, but this is much safer since it's protected and you're not going to cut yourself. And then you're going to want to go ahead and just pull the hair out from the actual brush. And then these sides here are also very important, as it can cause the brush to not spin properly, since there's going to be so much friction in these hubs that the hair kind of slows that down, causing the motor to work harder. So definitely want to make sure you get hair out in between this area here. Just using the pick part of the tool here to get in underneath the hair. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, so keep that in mind. You can always replace these brushes. I'll leave links down in the description of maybe some options on Amazon. I haven't replaced mine yet, actually, just because of the sole fact I'm lazy and it's been vacuuming perfectly fine. But yes, I can tell that these bristles are definitely quite soft compared to when they were brand new. I mean, they're pretty, and also kind of clogged up with smaller hair that you can't really get out unless you're going to be spending a lot of time cleaning this. So just do the best you can to get any hair out of the brush itself. And then what you can go ahead and do is take your damp cloth and just wipe down the wheel wells. That way, if there's any, in my case, litter or any other dirt that's kind of stuck down in there, it is free and clear of the wheel wells, or the brush wells, I should say. And then you can just give it a quick, nice, clean wipe down. And then you are going to want to make sure that it is just dry before you use this again, as the water can cause some dirt to to thicken and make it a little bit more difficult on the vacuum itself. So you're going to go ahead and just place this back in like you normally would. Make sure it spins freely. And then on the cover here, you can actually remove any sort of hair as well from these little small bristles on both left and right side, and then any hair that might have accumulated on these two little brackets right there. Now this is pretty durable. Even though it is plastic, it can actually handle a nice beating, if I say so myself. It's gotten stuck quite a bit in terms of underneath furniture and obstacles, just because of just the height and just how some of those furniture pieces are designed. So that's moving freely. Now sometimes what you might actually run into is hair inside of the wheels here. So you can actually push these wheels down, and sometimes it catches more hair, and then you can just bring that up. So you're going to want to also just go ahead and wipe inside of the wheel and kind of where the spring, kind of this whole hub assembly. That way if there is any hair or dirt caught in that area, that it frees and allows for the wheels to spin a lot easier. Next is we're going to be cleaning the sensors. This is going to be important in terms of its performance, its mapping capabilities, and kind of just overall kind of seeing where and what objects are around. So yes, these two are going to be the contacts for the charging. So you can go ahead and just wipe those down quite easily, just like that. You want to make sure that those are clean so it charges. And then you have these kind of cliff sensors right here, and then these edge sensors as well. You want to go ahead and wipe those down. So these areas can accumulate dirt, dust, and for me, litter dust. And then down here, get your finger to kind of just clean that little piece of plastic that's in there as well. So that way that's clear. And then obviously we have the front portion of the vacuum. So all inside here, you're going to want to go ahead and just give that a quick wipe, and then this top sensor there. And then if you choose, you can always wipe down the whole top of it. It's not going to affect the actual performance whatsoever, but just aesthetically, that way as it's cleaning, any dust that's on top of it doesn't fall off. And then back here are the exhaust vents. You can go ahead and actually just wipe all that down as well. So there you have it, guys. And that's how you clean your Roborock or Xiaomi Robot Smart Vacuum. Will definitely help the vacuum keep its longevity and performance going strong. If you guys have any tips, leave them down in the comments on how you clean your vacuum. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions as well, leave them down below. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you on the next one.